Hello, and welcome to the Drug Discovery World podcast. My name is Giles, and I'm here to take you through another topical and insightful article from Drug Discovery World. Today's episode of the Drug Discovery World podcast is titled, Adopting Artificial Intelligence is Essential for a Sustainable Pharma Industry. The original article this episode was based on was written by Professor Jackie Hunter and featured in our winter 2016-17 issue. Professor Hunter is CEO of BenevolentBio. She has held senior positions at global pharmaceutical organizations, including GlaxoSmithKline, Proximagen, and OI Pharma Partners, and joined BenevolentAI as CEO of BenevolentBio in 2016. In this episode, we explore how artificial intelligence can transform the scientific method, and in turn, the pharmaceutical industry. We discuss the barriers to drug development, AI's role, and finally how embracing technology can revolutionize the drug discovery process. So now on to the main article. Adopting AI is essential for a sustainable pharma industry. Advancements in technology, and in particular, developments in artificial intelligence, AI, are revolutionizing the way that we live our lives. Up to now, we've used it to help us find the quickest route home or to search the internet, but we now need to look much further. As a society, we face some huge challenges, and it's believed AI technology needs to be harnessed to solve some of these. How we maintain a healthy society, improve patient care, and develop effective new medicines for diseases with high unmet need are important issues. For example, dementia is currently the leading cause of death in the UK, and is part of a bigger issue of how society will adjust to greater life longevity. Increasing antimicrobial resistance is another daunting new millennial challenge. It could literally revert us back to the Dark Ages in terms of medicine. AI can help by revolutionizing the current drug discovery process and radically adapting the way that we find new insights about diseases. The technology can access existing research and information much more effectively to make the pharmaceutical industry more efficient in its practices. By augmenting the work of experts in this field, it can improve pharmaceutical innovation and reduce attrition. The barriers to drug development. The exponential growth of medical information is a huge challenge for scientific research, and in turn, the development of pharmaceuticals. The average biomedical researcher is dealing with an increasingly impenetrable amount of data. For example, there are thousands of uploads to PubMed every day, and the life science industry sees further new data inputted constantly from a variety of biomedical databases and journals across the globe. But despite more information and knowledge, the R&D process in the pharmaceutical industry hasn't really changed in over 50 years. The sheer volume of new data is not the only problem. Scientific information often consists of messy, unstructured data, which is harder to ingest and annotate, and therefore mine effectively for new information. This means it takes a long time for industry and academic researchers to access the information they need to make new hypotheses. Some industry scientists even spend their whole careers doing so, without developing a single drug in the process. It is widely accepted that from identifying a novel molecule to getting it to market can take up to 15 years. Once researchers have completed the mammoth task of sieving through the data to identify novel linkages between targets and a disease, they then have to demonstrate that their hypothesis is a valid concept. This initially is done in vitro, for example in cell culture models, and then in animal models of the disease. If the hypothesis holds, researchers will undertake a program of medicinal chemistry to look for new compounds. If drugs already exist that alter the target in a desired manner, then researchers can see if it is possible to repurpose the existing drug in a new indication. Repurposing should provide a faster route to patients, since the early preclinical safety and toxicity testing and phase 1 studies in volunteers will usually have been completed. Together these take about 2 years. Of course, ultimately the hypothesis needs to be proved in patients with the disease that is being targeted. The lack of success at this phase has led to it being called the Valley of Death, and for good reason, as approximately 50% of compounds fail at this stage. So, with years of research invested, the chances of a drug making it all the way through to market are less than 1 in 10. The industry is said to currently spend well over $1 billion per drug, primarily because the cost of failed projects is also included. In any other industry, these sorts of statistics would not be viable, and I would argue that the pharmaceutical industry in its current form is becoming increasingly unsustainable. How can we change the odds and become more successful? How AI can transform the scientific method, and in turn, the pharmaceutical industry. It is estimated that the average academic researcher reads 250 to 270 articles per year, and given that over 50 million scientific articles exist worldwide, then no one individual could read all relevant articles in their lifetime. In addition, much information lies buried in text in articles whose titles and abstracts might not reflect that information. Increasing the amount of evidence a researcher can access must improve their decision-making and ability to create new insights into disease. It is here that AI and machine learning technology can make a big impact by enabling the analysis of the sum of all scientific knowledge more quickly and effectively than has previously been possible. It gives researchers the ability to correlate, assimilate, and connect all this data by using cutting-edge algorithms to annotate and structure the data. This enables researchers to surface relevant information more rapidly and ask much deeper and broader questions of the scientific literature. It also allows both structured and unstructured data to be brought together in a common format. This not only helps to speed up the process of finding novel targets, i.e. increasing innovation, but it can also help to choose the most important targets, and therefore, the hope is that this will reduce the failure rate in clinical development. Given the enormous expense of bringing a drug to market, even a 2- or 4-fold reduction in this attrition would have a dramatic effect on the economics of drug discovery and development as a whole. For example, at BenevolentAI, they have conducted research into amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, using AI. Their artificial intelligence platform is able to review billions of sentences and paragraphs from millions of scientific research papers and abstracts. Using this existing information, it has been able to link direct relationships between the data, organizing it into known facts. These known facts are curated, and unrealized connections are made, helping to generate a large number of possible hypotheses using a set criterion put in place by the scientists. By using artificial intelligence, BenevolentAI were able to generate 200 hypotheses, using a volume of data that they would have struggled to access previously. Once further assessed by their tools, in silico validation, a shorter list of 20 novel hypotheses were further explored and prioritized. Ultimately, they whittled these down to 5 hypotheses, which were then tested in an academic lab of experienced ALS researchers. This process has allowed BenevolentAI to explore the potential for new mechanisms for disease modification in a timescale of weeks rather than months. Of the drugs that were tested in the in vitro assay system used, 1 did not work, but the other 4 did. The drugs that were tested were all ones that had previously been used in different indications than ALS, and therefore offer some opportunities for repurposing. Further work is ongoing in an animal model of ALS. Embracing technology to revolutionize the drug discovery process. There are other areas where AI and machine learning can affect the R&D process. Better ways to predict the properties of chemicals so that the numbers of compounds that have to be synthesized are reduced is clearly an opportunity. This will enable a broader chemical universe to be considered and enrich the chemical palette available to medicinal chemists. Mining genomic, proteomic, and metabolic data for better disease biomarkers and surrogate markers of drug efficacy is another area where researchers are beginning to use AI and machine learning. For example, the time taken to analyze images of tumors in cancer or brain scans in neurological disease can be dramatically shortened. Further downstream the analysis of real-world outcome data from wearable technologies and other sensors are also being carried out using AI and machine learning. Predictive toxicology is still in its infancy, and hopefully, By harnessing the true potential of AI, companies will also be able to identify any potential safety issues with compounds much earlier. Precision medicine and better stratification of patients for clinical trials can also be aided by this new technology, and this should lead to an increase in success based on better efficacy in clinical trials, as the most appropriate patient population can be better selected. Technology can't do it all, though. It is important to note that AI isn't a panacea. It can't make these scientific breakthroughs on its own. This technology is not designed to replace scientists and could not do so. It is there to augment the insight of the drug discovery scientists who still have to apply their knowledge to prioritize both the questions and the answers to those questions that the technology allows us to ask. On the other hand, if we are really going to reshape how we carry out drug discovery and development, AI and machine learning have to play a central role. Whether helping create new antibiotics, or improving wellness in an aging population, or even contributing new therapies to end the devastating effects we currently see from dementia in the UK, AI and machine learning is going to play an increasingly greater role in not just pharmaceutical R&D, but all aspects of health and wellness. This article was written by Professor Jackie Hunter and featured in our winter 2016-17 issue. Professor Hunter is CEO of BenevolentBio. She has held senior positions at global pharmaceutical organisations, including GlaxoSmithKline, Proximagen, and OI Pharma Partners, and joined BenevolentAI as CEO of BenevolentBio in 2016. Professor Hunter has vast academic and business experience in the biomedical and pharmaceutical sectors. She directs the application of BenevolentAI's technology for drug development and gives the company the insight it needs to operate its unique business model, one which sees it not only researching, but also developing the blueprint for new drugs. If you've enjoyed this episode and want more content from Drug Discovery World, then you can subscribe to the journal and get the latest issues delivered via post or electronically, completely free of charge. Just head to ddw-online.com and you can subscribe there, as well as read further articles and view the original PDFs of past articles, including this one, in our PDF archive. We've been writing articles for nearly 20 years, so there should be plenty of content for you. If you've enjoyed the podcast and found it useful, then please do subscribe and leave us a review, as all of them really help us. You can also follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter for updates on latest articles and news from Drug Discovery World. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in our next episode.